Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot and really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Now, those two unapologetically biased orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Tuesday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia. The Orange, they defend the Dome in a grudge match against UNC last night, despite being beat on the boards by 19, a 72-70 game that almost slipped through the cracks, improving to 14-8, 8-7. But did it come at a cost? We don't know. Kadary and Gary both left the game with some kind of injury. Both came into the game with injuries. In fact, muscled through most of it. You'll hear from us. We'll hear from you and fan feedback. Then we will let you know what we think as Syracuse will host Clemson tomorrow at 5. Cuse will be working 3 games in 6 days. And it's going to be a tall order for the guys in orange. Syracuse up to 60 in Ken Palm in 55th in the net. Also, this morning, if you didn't already know, NC State moved into the 75th slot in the net. So that will make that road win a quad 1 win at the moment. Yeah. So we got to root for NC State, guys. They got to stay there. That would be extremely helpful. So, yes. That's good news. Lots of good news after a 2-game losing streak. And, we'll see what happens. 3 games in 6 days is a feat. And I am a little worried, and we'll talk. I'm not going to get into it now, but I am a little worried about the status of the team in general. So, with that said, let's listen to Coach. Yeah. Let's see what he had to say after the win.
I'm really proud of the fight in this team. We got down early, and because we just, we missed. Allen had, his, worst game I think he's ever had here. He couldn't buy anything. But I thought, Jesse, he's learning, but he gave us some really good minutes. I think the difference with Kadary looking to get in the lane and then finding shooters, and we were passing the ball to shooters, and Buddy was getting open. And, he can make those shots when he gets open. And, we did a good job of looking for him. And then Quincy got big inside. They had a guard on him a little bit. And they did a really good job. Marek, everybody did a really good job of getting Quincy the ball down there.
Jim, you had to go with Jesse in order to combat their bigs there. Could you talk a little bit about what he was able to do out there for you tonight?
He's still got a lot to learn, but he got, a couple of rebounds. One thing he does is he gets his hands in there and makes steals. He was active. He grabbed the ball better at Georgia Tech. He was bobbling a lot. He grabbed it better tonight. He's still not ready, but he gave us a lot tonight, and he's got a tremendous potential to be able to really help us inside.
Hi, Coach. We saw Kadary kind of hobble off there with about 4 minutes left. Just wondering if you had any kind of update on how he's doing.
No, I have no idea. I think he'll be all right, but I don't know. Well, Quincy was unbelievable. He couldn't practice yesterday. Brad Pike did a great job with him, treating since the game the other night. He treated him right after the game when we got back here from Georgia Tech. He's been treating him. I didn't think yesterday he'd play today. I really didn't. But he was tremendous. Great determination on some of those plays inside. You don't usually score inside against Carolina, but he got a little guy on him, and he took advantage of it. It'd be nice if we had some fans here, but I guess maybe they'll think about that next year. I don't know. They might be still thinking it over by next year. I thought that's one thing Buddy did a little bit tonight. They didn't call him, but he was trying to get to the foul line, but there wasn't any calls on some of the plays, which I thought were fouls. But, it's a great win.
Hey, Jim, I just wanted to ask on Jesse Edwards against maybe the best front court in the ACC, really productive night for him. Was this something you feel he was capable of earlier in the year, or did he need?
Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I didn't play him, but I thought he was ready then. I just purposely kept him out, Matt. Wait, what kind of question is that?
Practice.
What? He's still not ready. He's not ready, but he hung in there and battled. They out-rebounded us 20 rebounds. I mean, yeah, he did some good things, but, he's got to get stronger. And, if he was ready early in the year, he would have been playing early in the year. We took this game out and got back in it and got the lead at halftime with the smaller lineup. That's the lineup that was effective. That got us the lead. But Jesse did some really good things and helped us. But, he's still, again, like I said the other day, I didn't expect him to play this year. I didn't think he was ready. I still don't. But, we need him to go in there and do what he can do.
The Coach Montage is brought to us by BetOnline, the title sponsor for the Cuse Militia. I do stand corrected. I said 19. We're negative 19 on the board, so it was negative 20. So, my bad. Coach, thank you for the correction. We will get into the Coach Montage right after we hear from the good folks over at BetOnline. Look, BetOnline, the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your sports action. The NBA, college basketball, and the NHL, they're in full swing. You got the MLB coming up. You got NASCAR. It's rolling. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV. Real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline has you covered for all the news, scores, and odds. It's the best way to place your bets, and it's free to sign up. Head over to the website or use your mobile device today to sign up and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR. That's 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code ARMCHAIR. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Thank you, BetOnline. Okay, so as it were, a rough game for Alan Griffin, and it wasn't for a lack of effort some of the time, but 4 points, 1 for 10 from the field, 0 for 6 from 3, just an off night. And when you combine that with the rebounding deficit, and you wonder how you came out on top, we'll get into that. But Allen's gameplay is not usually that bad. Like Coach said, worst game all year, and we're not used to seeing it. But, for what it's worth, we won, right?
Yeah.
But Allen is in my bad. If I'm doing good, bad, and ugly, he's in my bad. Joe Girard's in he's pushing the ugly. He's pushing the ugly a little bit, in my opinion. Some decent free throws at the end to help pull through, but that's going to happen with Allen. So with everybody, in fact, what do you think, Joe?
Yeah, when you saw the rebounding, you were like, okay, how are we even still in this game, right? So when you look at their
huge deficit quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of turnovers. They had 20 turnovers to our 12 turnovers. And you saw Roy Williams those big men were coming in at one point like a revolving door. He was just substituting, trying to make something work. When you look at it, Sharp had 3 turnovers, Kessler had 2 turnovers, Brooks had 4 turnovers, and Baycott had 3 turnovers. So the big men, they had a rough day. And again, when you look at the team stats, we had 15 steals, 9 blocks to their 6 steals, 1 block. We had a lot of points off their turnovers, a lot of fast break. I think we had 28 points off their 20 turnovers, and we had 24 fast break points or 20 fast break points or something like that. So that's old school, Syracuse basketball as far as defense and turning good defense
into offense
and turnovers into easy, buckets.
Yeah.
So, and obviously Buddy saved us there at one point when he got hot. It was a very, very surprising game, but it's always good to beat North Carolina for sure.
It's great to beat North Carolina when you live in North Carolina, especially. But I got to be honest, man, I got a lot of UNC fans around me. UNC, UVA, Virginia Tech, Duke, They're all huge where I'm at. So, anyways, my point to Alan is that Alan has a game like that, and you've got two guys coming into the game with some kind of injury or some kind of fatigue or whatever. You expect an Alan Griffin to step it up. He didn't. It's okay. They all. It's going to happen.
His shot just wasn't falling.
It just wasn't falling.
I think there was one point early in the first half where he was letting his offense mess with his defense. And he didn't hustle, and I think Boeheim took him out. But in the second half, he had 4 blocks.
Yeah, he did.
So in the second half, he was definitely, when he got out there, he was playing defense. His head was still in it.
He hustles. He hustles, especially in transition. And I caught a little flack for saying Alan hustles on Twitter last night because it does seem like he doesn't always hustle. But he, in transition, boy, if he's coming after you, if he's behind you and you think you got a clean layup and he's behind you, think again.
Think
he's
really good at that. He's had multiple blocks like that all season. So again, as long as if he's not hitting, that's okay. He might not play as much minutes. There might be a little bit more of a rotation, but when you get in there, make plays like that. And he had a backdoor cut where he got an easy layup from Mark later in the game too. So sometimes your shots aren't going to fall. And even Boeheim, he talked about in the post-game presser that he thinks that Alan Griffin, when the days where your shots aren't falling, you got to be able to take it to the lane and try to get to the line.
I was just going to mention
he's a good free throw shooter. So
he's an excellent free throw shooter, and the team as a whole is excellent. So Kadari's knee, Joe, obviously we don't know. It didn't look great, but when you see him put ice on it, it seems more like an in the moment thing. I don't know if it had anything to do with what he had going on coming in, but when you see ice, usually means it's been bumped, it's been bruised. I guess we'll see.
But I think there was some clues towards the end of that game. If you were paying attention on the sideline, if there was anything serious to where he thought he tore something or there was something bad, I don't think he would have been up and moving around.
No.
He was walking and stuff like that at the end. So I think again, he's 31 minutes. I think that's I think it's a season high for him. I don't know for sure, but
I think it might be. Gerard again with 10. So, by the way,
Kadary, has it ever been more apparent?
No, the picture's clear.
Yeah, I was talking to my dad last night when we were watching. I'm like, look at this. I'm like, it doesn't really matter. I know Quincy was in there and everything, but look at when you have a capable big man. And again, Boeheim says, he might not be ready. He might not be ready for certain teams or certain players, or maybe he's just not going to be consistent. But you saw in certain times last night where that helps us so much.
Oh yeah.
And then you see Kadary out there and what he's capable of doing while he's out there. He only scored 6 points, probably should have had a couple more, missed a couple bunnies. But he played a great game. 9 assists,
10
10 assists, 4 steals.
It was actually adjusted to 10. There was one they took from Buddy and gave to him.
Okay. And so when you look at it, he was out there and you can see what Kadary can kind of put together with 30-plus minutes. And I just think that yesterday it was like the closest type of looking team that is like, okay, this is kind of what we should have looked like from the beginning, right?
Oh, yeah, it's easy to say now.
A big man with, I know, but I'm just saying, now it's like, to me, it's more apparent. And I think we talked about it last time. And I don't know if this is in fan feedback, but is there any Joe Kadary stuff?
Not specifically. It's all the same stuff we've heard as far as that goes anyway, so go ahead.
I'm just saying.
I try to keep a lot of that out. I think everybody's on the same page here with this.
Well, we talked about it last time where I think that he was going to get the start this game.
We did think that. We did say that, and he didn't.
The buy-seller hold.
Yeah.
I spoke about how I think it was like Boeheim's last kind of here's your chance type thing. And I think you just saw with the body language of Joe again on the bench and
there was
some of the mistakes.
Yeah, there was a look, and I don't know how much weight to put in on this, but I just happened to film, or not just happened, I rewound it and filmed the Jesse Edwards slam on the inbounds pass, which was awesome. And the only reason I did it is because if fans were there, that place would have, that brand new roof would need to be repaired. Okay, if fans were there. So that's why I threw it up on Twitter. But someone pointed out in the background, Joe, the whole bench leaps. And Joe's standing. Joe's standing, but he's doing one of these golf claps like this. The whole bench is going nuts. And so when you talk about body language, though, it says a lot. It does. It really does. So,
and I think with the outing that Kadary put out there, I'm sorry, but barring that this injury is going to be a problem for tomorrow, Kadary start.
I would think so, and we'll have to see, but we'll talk about Amir Sims. Jesse Edwards getting plenty of minutes. We'll get into that in a second. Quincy, first half, 6 points, 1 rebound. Dude finishes with 6 rebounds and 18 points. Just a monstrous second half. You could see it took him a little bit. He was a little cold. Once he started to get warmed up, then you got to see Quincy didn't even look like anything was wrong with him. Towards the end of the game, obviously he had some issues there. They were dropping like flies at one point. It looked like
they were.
Looked like the plague out there.
Foul outs. And...
Yeah. So, anyways, we're wondering about Quincy, but a monstrous second half for him, and he's going to need to play those games. When he plays like that, and we have one of our point guards that's hot, we're really hard to beat, along with Mark doing his thing, a quiet 10 points, I believe. 8 points. And
8 points,
5 assists.
3 blocks, 3 steals,
3 blocks,
5 assists,
3 steals.
5 rebounds.
So, just doing his thing.
Stats,
That's his normal thing. And we talked about that last episode. Like Mark and Kadary, they do their thing, and you got Quincy and one of the point guards going off. You're going to have a good game. And it's just, I just wish if they could all click together and we talk about the cohesion, what it could be. And you get glimpses of it. But man, oh man, wouldn't it be nice?
And Quincy, you saw it in the second half. It was a great coaching adjustment, obviously, instructions and kind of using that stuff. But North Carolina, they were down points. They needed points. So Marek, with Jesse Edwards in there, you have Jesse Edwards and then you have Doljai. So you have the North Carolina's 2 centers are guarding those 2, and then now you have a Quincy who's being guarded against a guard. And North Carolina, they made an adjustment to put a better defender in, but then it was hurting their offense. So then they put in another guard to help their offense, but then there was a huge height advantage, and that's where you saw Quincy get those easy points in the second half down low. So, again, just another thing that opens up when you have a big man out there.
And it's amazing, in 2 games against North Carolina, you've got a difference in, what was the last game? This was 2 points. No, the score. I have it right here.
Oh,
it was 6.
We lost by 5.
It was 6. It's 81-75. So in 2 games, you got a difference of 4 points. Okay, we were out rebounded by 36.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, between 2 games, you have a difference in 4 points because NC State, UNC, they can't shoot. They don't have an outside shooter, so they're doing a lot of inside stuff, which they are successful at.
Well, and they got young guards, and they turn the ball over
They turn the ball over a lot. Yes.
This is 2 straight games, 20-plus turnovers for them.
Yeah. And just to be clear, too, let's just take a look at last game, just for the hell of it here. They turned it over 17 times against us last time. So that also helped staying in that game, too. All right.
Yeah. And going to the refereeing, too. I'm so glad they let him play.
Yeah, we're gonna get into that. Okay. That's on here. Fans in the Dome. This is ridiculous. We are reaching the point of complete and utter frustration. I don't get angry on the show. I don't believe in faux anger, but this really pisses me off. The no fans in the Dome thing is just something that just really pisses me off. I feel like it's just a power grab. I am so sick of New York State and the one freaking goon they got up there with all of his sexual harassment allegations and everything else and his nursing home deaths. This fool that runs that state is a piece of shit. I can't stand the guy. And if any politician's going to go to jail, it needs to be Cuomo. And I'm not kidding. I think the guy is a piece of crap. And I hope he reaps what he sows. Onondaga County Executive Ryan McMahon said that the delay in Syracuse University students returning to the Carrier Dome for sporting events stems from a disagreement between the school and the New York Department of Health over suitable testing procedures. Okay, this is from Syracuse.com. McMahon said that the school wants to use PCR testing, pooled collection process, and laboratory capabilities that it has built on its campus to monitor the student body. That cost them $1 million to build this facility. The state has not approved Syracuse's process and facility to perform tests for returning of fans to arenas. I think the state is struggling with Syracuse University's lab, McMahon said on Monday during a regularly scheduled briefing. I don't know why that protocol works for the general public and it doesn't work for basketball and lacrosse games. That's the holdup. The state needs to approve the testing program at Syracuse University. This is utter crap. That's the holdup. They don't like their testing procedures. Come on, man. This has worked for Syracuse University since, I would guess, I don't know. I'm guessing. But probably sometime in the late summer, fall. Is that fair?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it has to be pushing 6 months.
Well, this is my whole thing, right? Like, even if it's general public, right? Like, even if you are worried about the general public, this is something that you use on campus for students to be on campus, correct?
Right, yeah. That's what the facility is used for right now, yes.
Right. So it's okay for the state for that lab to be okay for those students.
Correct.
So why can't those students go to the game? Why can't they allow it?
They can go to school, but they can't go to the game. So they can go to school with one another, but they can't go to the game with one another. I'm not even asking at this point for outside.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For people outside the school to be
general
there.
public, if that's a problem, then whatever. But you have students and faculty.
By the way, Texas just opened up. Texas says next week we're done. We're done with masks. Everything's opening up. We're getting back to normal here because they're following the science. So I don't know what New York's health in whatever place is doing.
Like, again, to me, that's where it doesn't make any sense. You have you have students and you have faculty that are using this to be able to be on campus, but yet you're talking about...
But you can't go into the dome.
But they can't go into the dome. Yeah. Makes zero sense.
Where there's an abundance, a ridiculous amount of space, an absurd amount of space, empty space. Tons of it. Tons of it.
Ridiculous.
Matthew Gutierrez runs into the buzzsaw. I cringed a little, but I think you got to expect that response. And I don't think Goody meant anything by it, but you got to know that that's coming. Because Coach has been questioned about his lineup and this and that all season. He's made it clear why he's doing what he's doing. He's made it clear on Jesse. Matthew Gutierrez runs into the buzzsaw. But with that said, what? Go ahead.
I just feel like at this point, like, they know.
I know. Yeah, I know.
I feel like they're doing it for the reaction. Like, I feel like some of these guys want to be the one.
Well,
to ask
keep
the
doing
question.
it because I love it.
I love it too.
It's podcast and press conference gold.
Like, if you are good at your job, then you can look at something and you know what type of response based upon, at this point, who you're dealing with. Okay? So it's just funny to me sometimes when I hear questions and I'm like, are they doing this on purpose to get a rise out of Coach? Or
there's one guy I think does it on purpose. I don't think that was on purpose. I think that was accidental. Anyways, Jesse, obviously, 24 minutes. That's 2 straight games with some heavy minutes for him with over 20 minutes. 2 for 5, 2 for 2 from the line, which is crucial. 8 rebounds and 4 steals. You heard Coach talking about the steals. When he fouled out Joe, I was like, oh my gosh. You wouldn't think that when Jesse Edwards fouls out of a game that you're like, oh, that's it. We're screwed. But there I was. Yep. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you had Quincy hobbling around. Kadary just went out. And then Jesse fouls out, and you're like, oh, boy.
And Marek sitting in there with 4, and you're like, what's that's the next shoe to drop is Marek.
What's next? And then Joe had to come in, and he didn't. I mean, he made a bad play, and it was like, oh,
he made a bad play. Braswell made a bad play. Braswell should have used the timeout, had 2 to burn, I believe. And he was in a bad spot and kind of just chucked the ball like the width of the court to Buddy, who did not have a chance of catching that ball with
no.
Just a panic moment for Braswell. But those are the things that are going to limit your minutes. He calls a timeout there and avoids that turnover because I believe that turned into 4 points after that. Because there was a trap down at the other end or a foul on the rebound or something. But anyways, it was a bad sequence for Syracuse. And with that much time, with the time dwindling like that, that's a problem. So anyways, anything else, Joe? That's it. That's all I got for the coach montage.
Good.
Good what? Good, that's it?
Good. Yeah, I'm good.
You're good. You're good. You're good. What do you think about, real quickly, because I just mentioned it in the open, Syracuse has a quad one win right now. That's good. Mm-hmm. And it was an away game, so that's good. By the way, ironically enough, Syracuse a quad one game for UNC last night, which is crazy. You don't think about that, but it's, they're 60th in the net, and that puts them as a quad one game for opponents for Clemson, too, coming in tomorrow. So, anyways.
Oh, yeah.
That's that.
It's time to hear from you, the loudmouths from the Loud House.
You guys know what to do at the end of every game. I go to Twitter. I go to Facebook. I ask you for your thoughts. You leave them. I shuffle through them. Sometimes I read them. Sometimes I just choose ones that are, about a paragraph, and I'm like, this is a good-sized one.
No,
and
come on. We all know the ones you're going to read.
Bro. Come on, man. I've been outside the box, man. I can't help it. The same people give me the same good stuff all the time. I can't help that. Our boy Mahir, I'm sure he's in here. Let me see. He sure is. Okay. So, anyways, Steve on Facebook. Too bad fans, no fans allowed in. Strange game all around. Hope we see more of this Edwards version. Heal up and be ready. Still need at least 3 more wins. Okay, we did the fans. Edwards. Let's see, Joe. You got to. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll shelf that for the preview. 3 more wins, Joe. If you win 3 more, if you go Clemson, 1 win in the ACC tournament, and then lose the following game in the second round, there, do you think that's enough? Clemson on the cusp of being a quad one game if they continue to win too, by the way.
Right. Like I said, we don't know. It's not the same. We can't look, everything is not the same. So again, I just try to look at what could have been or what would have been versus what a normal schedule would have been like, So I still look at this schedule as it's missing 6 non-conference games and
opportunities for wins.
And it's missing 2 conference games.
And it's missing some home games for us as well.
Or did it go down to 11? Yeah, so maybe it's just only 4 non-conference and 2 conference. But either way, we should probably have, 6 more games on our schedule after Clemson, realistically.
Yeah.
And that's where, I think that if we did have that full schedule right now with that non-conference, I think that we'd be bubble. I think people would be talking bubble. I think you're talking about 17-9, 18-8 record with a non-conference. With if it was a normal season, 3 more to go. So I think we're right there where,
unless there's another game scheduled for ACC play, which there could be, but at this point right now, Syracuse can't finish below 500 in ACC before heading into the tournament. So.
That's right.
You got to think about that.
And I think the net rankings is tough because, again, I think it's also a situation when you want to look at all these analytics, and when you go to the net rankings, I mean, have you gone to the net rankings?
Yeah, I look at them every day.
Okay, so have you seen some of the ones that are like up there?
Yeah, like a couple goofy ones.
See where Colgate is? Ones. Colgate's 9.
Yeah, I think
Colgate's 9.
Yeah.
Loyola Chicago, good
Chicago,
team,
but they have like the number 1 ranked adjusted defense, don't they?
I don't care about that. I'm just saying.
I know you don't care about that, but I'm just saying. I mean, you've got to factor in all that stuff too, and I mean, I know it's two different things here. Now I'm curious. I want to check that.
How is Colgate 9? Oh, Colgate's 9 because they're 11-1 and they didn't play a non-conference and get any losses.
There you go.
So that's what I'm talking about, is that you have some of these other mid-major schools that they didn't play their non-conference that they go and play to try to, bolster up their strength of schedule as well and maybe steal some wins. So
Right. Are we going to do fan feedback, or are we just going to sit here and talk?
Let's do it.
Top fan, Jesse, on Facebook. Best win of the season because we overcame Biggs. Buddy and Q were great. I was wrong. Mark doesn't need to play 40 minutes at center because Jesse looked fantastic. Kadary was efficient, 9 assists. Well, actually 10, that was adjusted, and 4 steals. Wish both of them would have seen more minutes early in the year because they might have been even better. Well, look, I mean, we've talked about it. I think they're this good right now because they've gotten all these practices in. I mean, who knows? Right. I'm serious. Edwards looked like a baby calf out there earlier in the year. We all seen it. You can't tell me that's the same player.
No.
So when I see ex-Syracuse players post into groups in Facebook or what have you, questioning coaches' decisions and free this player and free that player and blah, blah, blah. I mean, come on. Give me a break. I mean, Jesse was not ready in the beginning of the year. Come on.
No.
I could look at him and tell I'm not a freaking expert.
He looked bad against non-conference.
Yes. Just not good. He made me nervous as hell.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you know.
I mean, if he can play like that, yeah.
But he's where he is now, and that's fine.
Right. Well, this is the version of we have a big man, so now you're going to have a Gerard and a Griffin or those type of players sitting at the same time simultaneously. And this is where we talked about where we wanted to get to. If we had a solid big man and you have the obvious Dolzai and Guerrier at the forwards, then everyone else, it kind of comes down to defense. It comes down to how you're playing. And again, like I said, I think that the coaching staff's adjusting better with figuring out which lineup or which rotation works for which team they're playing. And I think that, and they're going with the hot hand as well. And I think that there's just a lot of adjustments they're making and they're just trying to figure it out. But as far as the Jesse Edwards thing, yeah, I mean, he's been practicing and, all year trying to get better. They've been trying to develop him. And obviously they forced a hand where they had to go in and he played good.
He played better. He played better against.
Brought him in.
Yeah.
He did against North Carolina big men.
He did. He played better against UNC than he did Georgia Tech. And, hopefully we'll see him continue to improve. He has got some long-ass arms. That dude can get his hands on stuff. And
he might not start. He might not start, but as soon as we start getting bullied down low, he's coming in.
Yeah, and thank God. Maybe a little bit too late, but it is what it is. I mean, we talk all the time about teams hitting their stride at the right time. And, Jesse's hitting his stride at the right time. Right. The team's another story, but he's hitting his stride at the right time. So, all right, we will be right back after this to finish up with fan feedback and give you the Clemson preview. All right, BetOnline. You heard from them once. You're going to hear from them again. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your sports action. They cover all of the sports, all of the everything sports, okay, obviously. Award shows, TV shows, and reality TV. Real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline has you covered for all news, scores, and odds. It's the best way to place your bets, and it's free to sign up. So head over to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use the promo code ARMCHAIR. That's a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Use the promo code ARMCHAIR. BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. eBay.com/sneakers. Go there. Whether you're looking for rare dead stock or the latest release, find the exact shoe you're looking for on eBay as the original sneaker marketplace. eBay is a place to go to cop a pair you've been eyeing. And with eBay's authenticity guarantee, a team of independent professional authenticators perform a rigorous inspection of the sneakers you purchase before they're sent to you so you can shop confidently, knowing your pair is the real deal. And for the sneaker sellers out there, eBay has eliminated selling fees on sneakers $100 plus, making it free to sell or flip your collection, with other sites taking as much as 25%. That's ridiculous. 25%. You're going to have a lot of extra money left for more sneakers. Check out ebay.com/sneakers today. That's ebay.com/sneakers today. Thank you, ebay.com/sneakers. All right. David, top fan on Facebook. He says, whether they win or lose, how they win or lose, you just feel like you need to immediately down a couple shots of whiskey and take a cold shower. Look, I'm not into the cold shower thing, but I'm down with the whiskey thing. And, we haven't had many cardiac Cuse games, especially like losing the lead like that coming down the stretch this year. And, that was one that almost slipped. It almost got away from us. And you're right. Put, at some point in the game, they're going to put you through it. They're going to put us through something that will definitely make us either turn to alcohol or a cold shower, whatever you like. Whatever you prefer. So, anyway, yeah, absolutely. Top fan Zach on Facebook. If Jesse Edwards doesn't play meaningful minutes these next couple of games and Sidibe, Mark both return, he's transferring. And it's frightening because he has looked so good in almost every little opportunity he gets. Jim loves Anselm, and a Jack can shoot. Edwards might be odd man out or feel disrespected like Carey or Goodine. Okay. So this is a big what if, because when you talk about the Sidibe Mark thing, I see no indication, just for me, of Mark returning. I don't see it. He's talking about his time here and what it's meant to him, and I've seen a couple of those type interviews, and
Yeah, I mean,
so it's hard to say.
They both said they're gonna talk to the coach.
Right. Well, here's the thing, Joe. I think we get one or the other. Okay, and with what Jesse Edwards has done, I mean, obviously he's going to be more developed next year. Obviously, I think it's going to be something. He's going to get bigger. I think he plays. I think he plays more than what Zach thinks he might, even if Sidibe returns. But we'll see. Sidibe, we don't even know if he's going to be 100%, if he'll ever be 100%.
Right.
He's got issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's played good. Look, Edwards has played good enough the last two games to obviously get these minutes that he deserves. He deserves these minutes at this point. I don't see a situation where you don't have a big man or a traditional center, and then you have some guy that hasn't been ready all year, and he comes in and he plays the last two games the way that he has. I mean, Boeheim's going to run the hot hand. Now, if he goes in there and he, lays a big turd, then he's going to take him out, right?
Unless he lays a Cuomo.
Then he's going to take him out, and then that might get him back to, he'll give him some chances. But, that's just right now you got to ride the hot hand, and I don't think we got to worry about that as Syracuse fans. We're a different team.
By the way, go ahead. I'm sorry. I interrupted you.
No, I mean, it's just we're a different team, obviously, when you see that we have kind of a big man in there. You saw it in glimpses even when Sidibe came back.
Yes.
And, I mean, now that Jesse's played two good games, you've seen what he's done, and so I'm on board. Keep it rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, here's my philosophy. If he transfers, he transfers. I mean, it is what it is. Obviously, if he does it, there was something there that, it just wasn't going to work. Okay, either he doesn't want to be there or whatever the case may be. So if he transfers. I'd hate to see it, but
I don't see it. I mean, the only possible way would be if Sidibe. If Sidibe came back, and I don't even know if we're even recruiting a center right now. So, I mean,
I don't know.
We'll see.
Right. Top fan Mahir on Facebook. Screw the refs. I know Lance G loves Mahir. Screw the refs, especially if he starts with screw the refs. I know Cuse did everything they could to give that game away, but my God, the refs were horrible. Cuse is now 2-10 against Carolina in the last 12 meetings, but Cuse has won 2 of the last 3. Rest up and get those ice bags. Jeez. Yeah, rest up and get those ice bags. A tough one-day turnaround. But the refs, man, I mean, like I said last night, talked to you at the half, I was like, I like them letting them play. But there were some egregious misses, in my opinion. There was one against Buddy towards the end of the game that was kind of ridiculous, and there was a makeup call for it. And it's just, I hate that stuff. Just call what you see in the moment. I don't know. But I do like him. I do like him playing. I do like letting him play. But this team is so good from the free throw line, though, that when
There were so many missed calls yesterday.
So many. So were they missed or were they just not being called?
No, they just let them play, bro.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. And I really think that if you really would have had like a certain type of officiating crews there, that would have been a bad day for us.
It could have been. You talk about Jesse getting fouled out.
Game's called tight.
Yeah, Jesse and Mark are both gone probably 10 minutes earlier. So be careful what you wish for.
Because North Carolina's loaded with centers. They got way more ammo than we do in that.
They got more ammo, but obviously Baycott, the man down there, and he had 3. So it could have been a rough night for him too. But anyway, at Jen Bick 1 on the Twitter, got the crap beat out of them on the boards and won. Worried that Kadary is hurt. Need him. Different team when he's playing. We need Quincy healthy too. Jesse played great and Braswell improving. Even had a hack down in the corner. He did. Swatted one right out of bounds. Absolutely. But yeah, we'll reiterate this one more time. I'm a little worried about the condition of these guys, but we will see. At 1 Kev Nash, 1 is at this is at 1 Kev Nash's top 5. 1 out rebounded by 20 and still won. How? Griffin 1 for 10 and still won. How? I love seeing Jesse get real minutes. Q was huge in the second half. 5 Buddy for 3. What a game for him, scoring his 1,000th point in the orange. Go Cuse. Yeah, I believe he's up to 1,010 points. So in the 1,000 point club for Buddy. And, too bad he didn't have fans there to give him the proper send-off after he made that 3 to go.
I'm lying about that.
He made a 3 to go 1,001.
When they were talking about it, I'm like, all right, it'd be nice for him to get 1,000. Come on, let's get at this game against North Carolina.
He needed
at home,
16.
And then he just blew by it.
He destroyed it. He said 16. I'm getting freaking 26.
26.
Yeah. So, anyways, at Michael C. Backus, Richmond is such a difference maker. His ceiling is super high. Great minutes from Edwards. Ton of energy and needed size on the boards. Buddy does what he needed, and Q gave them just enough to hold on. Richmond, again, we talked about, speculated in the last show about him starting, and obviously we got off to a slow start again. I think we're at, Joe, you gave me the stat yesterday. We had 13 points in 13 minutes, scoring at a clip of 1 point a minute. And it wasn't looking great.
And Fuego.
Yeah, and Kadary comes in immediately, starts being a difference maker, and that's just what we're used to seeing. I can't wait to be able to see it right from the start, to see if it really does, if the myth is true, that we don't have to start in a hole like that if Quincy is starts the game.
Quincy?
Or Kadary, I'm sorry, starts the game. Shut up, Joe. You know exactly what I meant. Okay?
I'm just making sure that, the listeners
Why you
understand.
laugh silently like that? You're such a douche. Golly. At Syracuse 10, that it could have been a different season if Kadary played. Thoughts on the game. They could have been a different season if Kadary played this much earlier, along with testing Edwards out earlier in the season, but I guess we will never know. Well, no, we do know. We do. Now, Kadary, we don't know, but, I mean, we saw Edwards. He got yanked a lot when he went in there.
He got yanked against Northeastern.
So, don't give me the free Jesse, this is what he was all year. No, that's not.
Practice makes perfect, right?
Yes.
You said, as the season goes along and you're playing games and you're like, oh, wow, I'm playing against this guy that's 4 years older than me and just dominating, and then you see the speed and then you go to practice and then you figure the game out and it starts to slow down. Sometimes things just click. So you can't just say, oh, if we did this in the beginning of the year, we could. In the beginning of the year, Kadary isn't who he is right now, based upon the experiences and the practices and the games that he's played.
We don't know Kadary's ceiling yet, in my opinion.
Hell no.
So we know his floor.
We do. And his floor is pretty nice.
Yeah, it's pretty decent
With
so far this
jumper,
year.
His floor is pretty nice.
Yeah. So doing the things that don't make the stat sheet, which is the stuff I love. That's the grit. That's the grimy stuff. That's the determination. That's the effort. That's all the things that you need that guy on your team, and we have two of them.
He's so unselfish.
Yeah, absolutely. 10
He's
assists.
so unselfish.
By the way, the assist, I don't know if I mentioned the assist. The 18 assists on 27 buckets is pretty good for SU this year.
Yeah.
So pretty good. I didn't really think it was that much until I checked it out. But anyways, at Baptized by Fire, 7, good win for an average team. Great to see Edwards play really well. Everybody's very happy about that. I think we can all concur that we all love to see Edwards succeed out there. We almost crapped our pants when he fouled out. Yes. Proves how well he played tonight. Looks like Richmond earned point guard 1 if he isn't hurt too bad. So, yeah. Dom, we will see, and I think it'll be Clemson if it's going to be. It's probably be at Clemson, obviously. So we'll just have to see, and you got to have them healthy. That's the other thing. At Ebola _ oh, you need anything to say on that?
No.
Okay. Buddy needs to shoot 20 times a game. Yes, dude. You got to hand it to this kid. He's pulled us out of some big ones, man. I know everybody played a part in this to some extent, except for Allen. No offense. Just had a rough game. But even Joe hit some foul shots he needed to. But, 9 for 20 for Buddy, 6 for 13 from 3. Now, I'm okay with him taking 13. He's making 6 of them.
That's perfectly fine, but they have to be good shots.
They do have to be good shots, but I think he's getting better with that. He's not forcing them up as much as he used to.
Well, no, but again, that also comes down to the defense that you're playing against too.
True that.
So he had success earlier in the season. We were playing against North Carolina, and there's the guards, again, when we go big, that's the trickle down effect. When we have that center in there, okay, now you have a center that guards Jesse Edwards, and the next guy guards Dolzaj, which means Gary A is guarding. If you have a team that goes 3 guards or somebody, he's guarding someone his height versus a power forward, which then you turn around and now Buddy's playing the 2 guard at 6'5", 6'6".
Right.
Which means he has a 2 or 3 inch difference. So now he can shoot over his defenders versus, they can put their number 3 guard / forward that's like 6'6", 6'7" that can actually guard him. So it depends on the defense that he sees, because there are times where teams just don't let him get open at all. And those are just the really good defensive teams that know that we can't let Buddy Boeheim shoot. So I don't want him shooting 20 shots when he's getting guarded like that against, a really, really good defender, and he's taking bad shots.
But I don't think he will. I think his shot selection has improved.
Mm-hmm.
Joe's, on the other hand, that's another story. Let's do this. Let's rip through these real quick, and we'll move on. Top fan Robert on the Facebook. Well, first, that's a much needed win. Got some muscle and weight in Edwards, and he's going to be special. Second, give Buddy the ball. Give Buddy effing Boeheim the ball as much as possible. Third, pray that Richmond and Gary are heal up. And 4, we ain't done yet. That's right. Nate, Facebook, a much-needed win against a quality team. Probably won't get into the tournament, but a big confidence booster for the program. Obviously not going to get in the tournament just based on this one game, even with the NC State game and the Virginia Tech game. Not going to. Obviously, got to do more. But it is a confidence booster. And we're going to see how it plays out, man. The season is wrapping up. It's going to come down to the ACC tournament. Regardless, win or lose, it's going to come down to the ACC tournament. So we will see.
Oh, yeah.
The 15-5, 5-9 Clemson Tigers will tip off in the dome, in the empty dome, mind you, against Syracuse tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Everybody get ready for that. Clemson is currently on a 5-game win streak. Included in those 5 games is the last matchup between Syracuse and Clemson on February 6th. Syracuse lost 78-61 on the road. It was ugly. Girard had 19 points in that game. The all-time series with Clemson currently sits at 7-4 in favor of the Tigers. Clemson is still led by 6'8" senior Amir Sims. He's averaging 14 points and 6 rebounds a game. He leads his team in both of those categories, along with assists and blocks. He's the only player on the team averaging double digits in points per game. Clemson, as a team, they're only averaging about 65 points a game, but if you remember the game that we played, obviously Clemson's strength is their defense. That was the problem. Ken Pom has them ranked 11th in adjusted defense. Clemson currently, I believe I saw them at 38th in Ken Pom and 33rd in the net. That's 3 spots shy of making this a quad 1 game. Instead, it'll be a quad Quad 2 game at home. Joe, in the loss earlier this year, Buddy and Quincy, they were pretty much shut down. That allowed Joe, like I said, to score a game-high 19. But for this one, we don't know what we look like, the dynamics of that. Hopefully everybody's healthy. We need to click. If it's going to click, it needs to start clicking tomorrow. We need all hands on deck for this game. This would be a huge win for Syracuse going into the ACC tournament.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, this team last time handled us. 17 more rebounds than us, and they had a lot of guys in there that, I mean, they went 10 deep. I think they had something like, 9 players that played at least 13 minutes. So they substitute. They play in-your-face defense, like you said. And this is going to be a tough one. The good thing is that now we have a little bit of a different look than the last time that we saw them, and they're not that tall of a team. I mean, they got a couple 6'10" guys that come off the bench.
Sims is what, 6'9"?
Yeah. So Sims he's a beast because he's 6'9", 240. He's 245.
Yeah. Oh, he's built like a brick house, no doubt.
Yeah, so 6'8", 6'9", 245. I mean, he's solid. So, and he can score from all over the floor. And he had a double-double last time we played. He had 18 points, 11 rebounds, and the Clyde Trap as well. 2 guys that had the most minutes. He had 11 assists, if you remember, and 8 rebounds as a starting point guard. So, again, can't get out-rebounded by a team that's smaller than us. And last time, if I remember, more or less, it was just Boeheim got locked up. Quincy didn't play great at all, and obviously their defense had something to do with that. But it was it was effort. This was the game when I remember I watched, and it just did not look like we wanted to be there. It didn't look. The energy was bad. They shot 10 of 23 from the 3-point line. They were passing the ball around, getting shots, wide open shots, and that just can't happen, obviously. So hopefully it's the team that we saw yesterday, because I don't think it really took that long for them to get fired up and kind of get in the game. But that's what we have to do, because that's what Clemson did last time. I don't know if you remember, but we went into the half against Clemson losing 39-19.
I remember it was bad. I didn't remember the exact score, but I remember it was bad.
Yeah, we were down 20 going into the half, 39-19. We didn't even have 20 points. Didn't even have a point a minute. Now we came out and we ended up, outscoring them in the second half 42-39. But obviously, it's something with some worrisome things, because we saw Quincy hobbling around, and how much better is he going to be? We saw Kadary. Is he going to be all right? And then it's only off a 1-day arrest. So, and then you have a Clemson team that goes so deep and pressures you and just puts it on you. So
they stay fresh, to say the least.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. So it's going to be tough. And they obviously have a couple more. They're on a winning streak, and they haven't played since February 27th. So
yeah,
what's that? Saturday.
They had a couple postponed games.
Yeah, they played Miami, I think, on Saturday. So they haven't played since Saturday. So they got a couple of days rest. And again, like I said, they're in your face. They're tough. They're relentless. They're not. I mean, we got to play a clean game, and I just hope that Kadary is fresh. He's good, and Jesse can.
They've only played 6 games in a month. In exactly a month, they've only played 6 games. They had 2 postponed games in between there, Notre Dame and Pittsburgh.
Okay. Well, like I said, they're going to come out. They're going to obviously have energy. They beat us a certain way last time, but again, I don't know if I think hopefully when I watched Georgia Tech and Jesse Edwards came in, I liked how he kind of played against Moses Wright. He kind of stopped him a little bit for a little while and neutralized him, and I just hope that he can kind of have the same effect. And again, like I said, it's a new wrinkle that Clemson hasn't seen. And as long as Kadary's good to go and he can put up, 30 minutes like he did before, then it's going to be a different type of team that Clemson's going to see. So just hopefully they don't shoot as well from the 3 that they did last time. And I mean, I like our chances. We need to know that this is just kind of a must-win game.
Yeah, 10 for 23 last time.
I think if we win this game, then we're right back in the bubble talk.
Yeah, bubble talk, schmubble talk, whatever. Just go out.
But
and
like
I think
said,
we're
still
in
said
bubble talk still. I just, to what extent, right? So, and I don't
Right.
care what Joe Lenardi says. I don't even pay attention to him. Nice guy. Don't care.
Like I said, this
Sorry.
year's going to be different.
Yeah.
So no one can really say anything, and I know that our record's good enough to at least be talked about.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, you know what time it is, Joe. It's time to revisit, first of all, the predictions from last game. I had 78-74 Syracuse. You had 74-66 Syracuse. We both had them winning. Well, my spread was closer, but your score for Syracuse was off by 2. So I don't know, man. Is this a push? What do we do with this?
Nah, I'll look. I'm a good sport, so I'll call it a push.
Okay, it's a push. I think that's fair.
Push.
I think that's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. Well, now, by the way, I would be remiss if I forgot to mention that Tony guessed the score on the Cuse Militia Podcast Facebook page when I asked for predictions like I do every game. At least I try to.
Yeah.
Depends on what I got going on at work or whatever. But he had 72-71 Syracuse.
Ooh.
So very good.
Wow.
He wins.
It's not perfect, but he wins.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So it is that time again. And that time is, I believe I went. Who went first last time? I did.
You did.
So it's your turn to go first. It is that time again. Joe, give your prediction. I don't need some big, long, drawn-out spiel about this, that, and the other. Give me the basics, give me the score, and we'll move on.
70-63, Syracuse.
70-63. You got nothing other than that?
I just think that I don't think Clemson's going to shoot as well, and I think that Jesse Edwards. This is barring obviously the fact that Kadari's healthy, and he's going to play starter minutes, and Jesse's obviously going to play. So, and Quincy as well. So as long as it's kind of like the same kind of setup the other night, and everyone's good to go, then I think that Jesse Edwards comes in, neutralizes the rebounding difference in second chance opportunity points difference. And with Kadary in there, we get more points off turnovers and more points as far as fast break points. So I think that that's really what it comes down to.
Okay, so I don't always like going second because that screws my score up. Screws my train of thought up too. But I don't have huge warm and fuzzies about this game because of how good they are, how they handled us last time. I just don't think the matchup is great. But to Joe's point, the dynamics have changed. And assuming that Kadary is in, and, I mean, Buddy stays hot. I'm sure they're going to be all over Buddy. Joe's going to need to do something this game, and Alan Griffin's going to need to do something this game. So assuming everybody's healthy, and we had Jesse Edwards, sprinkle him in there, and we'll see who starts. But I'm going to say 68-64 Syracuse. So that's what I got. Yeah. I think it's going to be close. And
well, I think Quincy has to have a big game too, because that's one of those things where if you have a situation where your two bigs are guarding Quincy and Marek, then you can pick between, a Joe and a Buddy and a Alan Griffin and figure out who do you want to put your best defender on out of three guards. Now, if you go big, that messes everything up for the other team. So the way they defended us last time, when we go big, it's going to be completely different because, again, trickle-down effect. If Edwards comes in, Mark's going to be going against a 6'5", or sorry, not Mark. Quincy's going to be going against a 6'5" guard. So that's a completely different mismatch.
Right. Well, yeah.
And now Brunell has to figure out what he's going to do, make substitutions to his normal rotation, and then go a little bit bigger, which now that's kind of minimizing who you can have in there as a two guard to face Buddy, because now he's 6'5", 6'6". So, and then Kadari's 6'6". So when you play that lineup, it completely just messes with matchups. And we have enough talent on the offensive end to figure out who the matchups are.
By the way,
but it just kind of leaves Joe and Alan Griffin kind of off in the distance a little bit.
Yeah,
that's all.
Another thing to just to take note of is that in the past 5 games, like I said, they've played 5 games in a month. And they're all wins, but all but one of them was at home. So they haven't been on the road that much. They've been chilling. They've been chilling. Yeah. So they were home from February 2nd to February 24th, a solid 3 weeks. So it's home, chilling.
And where'd they travel?
They went to Wake Forest, so they went up north. What? I don't know, 150 miles
South Carolina
or something.
to North Carolina.
So, anyways, just to mention that, I just kind of saw it out of the corner of my eye here. So, anyways, that is all for us. I want to thank everybody who hung out with us for this whole episode. We appreciate all of you who participated in fan feedback. We love you guys so much.
Yes.
Appreciate the listenership. Appreciate the fandom. And thank you. Bet Online, eBay Sneakers. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.